How do you align everyone in your organization? By the end of this video or podcast, wherever you're watching or listening to this, you're going to have 3 tips on how to align everyone across your whole organization. Hey, I'm Jonno White, founder and principal consultant of Clarity, and welcome to the Jonno White Leadership Podcast. As you would know from that question at the start, today we're talking about how do you align everyone in your organization. But first, I just want to say a big thank you for subscribing, following, liking, sharing. If you haven't done that, please do that now. Click the button, subscribe, follow, like, share. It helps us to help more leaders like you become the very best they can be. So alignment, I remember learning about alignment the first time for myself when I took over as youth pastor at Gateway, and I remember I had I was really naive. I had the best intentions. I'd been under a great leader's wing, and a couple of months into taking over that role, I remember looking around a room and thinking, wow, I have these incredibly competent people who are really on fire for our mission. But I remember looking around and thinking, I actually don't know what to do to get these 30 people that I'm in the room with rowing in the same direction. And for me, at that point as a leader, that was a complete revelation. I didn't realize that was a thing. I just had assumed that if I just did what I did to the best of my ability and kept growing in my skills, that would just happen. And so that was a big aha moment for me. I had that epiphany. Okay, I need to learn how to get everyone on my team rowing in the same direction. And from there, that's when I started really reading and trying to learn about how do you align everyone in an organization. And over the next couple of years, I remember just seeing our group of leaders really become more aligned and going in the one direction. And even though there were some really hard times and ups and downs, I just remember having one moment where I looked around the room and thought, and just had this relief as a leader. Like, it was just like that relief that everyone in the room was rowing in the same direction. And that's my heart for every leader, that you would align everyone in your organization to be rowing in the same direction towards the vision that you have and the calling that you have and that they have in your team and in your organization to make a difference in the world. So 3 tips. How do you align everyone in your organization? The first tip is you have to know where you're going. Aligning everyone in your organization starts with aligning towards what? And I would encourage you not to go too deep or get too confused about this. What is a direction? What is your direction? Have a sense of direction. You probably have an intuitive sense as a leader. What are you guys doing? Why are you doing it? Where are you going? What does it look like to be successful in 3 months, 12 months, 24 months? Just by answering some of those questions together as a leadership team, together with your team, with your family, as a volunteer, at your school if you're a school leader, just by answering those questions and clarifying direction, boom, that is the starting point, because a lot of lack of alignment comes from not knowing exactly where we're going, full stop. The second thing is I want to right now anoint you as CRO. Wherever you're watching this, whoever you are, whatever role you're in, you might not even be in a leadership role yet, but you feel a passion about it. That's why you're watching or listening to this. Well, right now I'm knighting you, as a CRO. What is a CRO? Well, you are now the Chief Reminding Officer. Okay, you are a Chief Reminding Officer for your team, for your organization. And that's because, as Patrick Lencioni talks about, it often takes, this research that shows that it takes people in your organization 7 times until they need to hear something 7 times, hear the same thing 7 times before they then go, it's a real thing, 7 times. So the first tip is to clarify that direction, which you probably already have a sense of. Just get clearer on it, or try to articulate it with your team is a great way to do it. And the second thing is to be the CRO. You need to be reminding people. Usually we say things twice and then we go, oh, I don't want to say that again. I've said that a lot. But the problem is that we notice every time we say it, but people don't actually absorb it often until we've said it 7 times. A great litmus test for this, and I remember when I was going on and on and on about vision, and I had one of our people that we were serving came up to me at one point and said, Jonno, can I just tell you, we get this whole thing about blah, blah, blah. And what he said was exactly the vision. It was exactly the direction. And he said, we get it. You probably don't need to talk about it as much as you are. And some people would be discouraged by that. I was really encouraged because it said to me that we were doing our job to be CROs. They were getting it. He could recite it back to me. Be that clear, and you're going to help to bring alignment around the direction. And the third tip is, what are you willing to walk past? Because what you tolerate is what you'll end up with. The culture that you want is not going to happen by tolerating things that aren't in the culture. So if you align everyone, this is what happens in leadership: is your low performers that you're having to hold accountable again and again and again. It's really hard work, and yeah, it's hard, it's painful, it's not easy, it's uncomfortable. But there's two reasons to do it. Firstly, just because it's the right thing to do by them, and it's the best thing for them and for you to actually lead them well and hold them accountable to good behavior and help them to step up. But the second thing is, your best people are watching. They're watching you and they're going, how serious is this leader about our kindness as a team? How serious are they about our promptness? How serious are they about our work ethic, about our performance? They're watching. And when you tolerate low standards, poor behavior, your best people, guess what they do? They leave. They go, I'm out. I want to work somewhere where it's not tolerated to act like X, Y, or Z. I want to work somewhere. I want to be in a team with high performance and high standards. Think about it in sport. How often do you see a sports star frustrated in a low performing team who ends up leaving because of the low standards of the team, and they go somewhere else because they want to win. They want to win. And so I know when I say winning, particularly for the not-for-profits, I know that winning for you is about changing people's lives, and for all of us, really, that's the ultimate win. So if you want to win, if you want to change people's lives and have a great impact, your best people are watching. So don't tolerate poor behavior. Don't tolerate low standards. Go there, call them on it, because not only is it the right thing to do, but your best people will watch and go, okay, if that's what you're going to do, then maybe I'll stick around, because that's the sort of team I want to be a part of. And there's a third trick for that, which is called, Patrick Lencioni calls it peer-to-peer accountability. And the beauty of peer-to-peer accountability is that as a leader, okay, there's this really frustrating catch-22. If you don't hold your people accountable, then no one in your team will hold each other accountable, because they'll go, I am not doing your dirty work for you. If you're not even willing to do it, then I'm certainly not going to do it. So the less you hold people accountable, the less your team holds each other accountable, which means you need to hold more people accountable. Does that make sense? The less you hold people accountable yourself, the less your team will hold each other accountable, which means there's even more work for you to do, which you're not doing. But the good thing about the catch-22 is that there's the other end of the spectrum. The more you hold people accountable and do that really well in a healthy way, the more your team go, okay, if you're willing to get your hands dirty and actually have these uncomfortable conversations, then so will I. And they start doing peer-to-peer accountability. They hold each other accountable. And guess what? The more you hold accountable, the less you need to hold accountable, because your team step in and do it for you with each other. That's the beautiful thing. The more you go, okay, I'm going to start doing accountability well, you get a year down the track and you realize I'm having to do it way less than ever. That is awesome. And so that's 3 tips to get everyone in your organization aligned. If this has helped you to get clear in anything in your organization, then comment with the word clarity wherever you're watching or listening to this. And thank you again for following, subscribing, liking, sharing. If you haven't done that yet, click that button, subscribe, like, follow, share, please. Helps us to get the word out there to help more leaders like you to become the very best they can be. And thank you for hanging out. I'm based in Brisbane. You could be anywhere around the world. Maybe you're a street away from me here in Brisbane, but maybe you're far away in Europe or Africa or South America. And I just want to say thanks for hanging out. It's awesome to spend this time with you, and I'm excited to spend some more time with you soon as well. So thank you. I value your time. It's great to spend some time with you, and looking forward to next time. Cheers.